everyone, I'm Captain Logan and welcome to Objectivity. Been a while since I've reviewed an action figure. I decided to get started on these 6-inch Batman v Superman figures from Mattel. I think these are about 6 inches, and I thought it was really cool that they put out bigger figures. This is always the scale I liked to collect when I was a kid, that I liked to play with, and these look a lot like the DC Mattel figures I was playing with when I was a kid. It's really faithful to those, to the old designs of those, and it'll be interesting to get this open and see if it's just like that stuff or if it's a little bit more updated, just how kiddish or adult collector friendly this ends up being. But anyway, so this is Battle Armor Batman. I decided to start with this one. I thought it looked really cool, and I'm pretty jazzed to see what the Frank Miller armor looks like in live action, and so we get to see that here. I'm surprised it doesn't have a bat symbol on the front. I guess it doesn't in the trailer, and I hadn't really thought about that until looking at the figure here. Here's the Batman v Superman logo. Interesting that it doesn't say Dawn of Justice underneath, just Batman v Superman. On the back, you see the you see 3 other figures. There's the Gauntlet Assault Batman, the Grapnel Blast Batman, which is just straight up Ben Affleck Batman without all the armor goop and stuff on top of him. It's just his bat suit. And then there's a Shield Clash Superman, which is the other figure I bought, and I'll be taking a look at that in another video. Anyway, so this is not showing the other characters that they've put out in the same scale and for the same price. There's a Wonder Woman and an Aquaman, and I don't think there's anybody else. I'm also interested to see if there is a normal Superman without the armor stuff on him, because I have not seen that anywhere, but that doesn't mean they haven't made one. So I'm going to go ahead and take this open, or take this out, pop this open, and show you what he looks like. This is the first time I've done this on camera where I haven't actually opened a figure yet, and I thought it would be cool to kind of do it the Review Spot method. Hi, Review Spot, if you're watching. I need to check his channel and see if he's done these yet. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and take this out and show you what he looks like, and I'll see you in just a second. So here he is. Here's our Battle Armor Batman, Ben Affleck in his armored glory, ready to go up against Superman. And overall, I think I like him. He is certainly a pretty good figure for the $10 price point. I thought that it was neat to see figures this big at that reasonable of a price. I tend to spend 20 bucks on a figure of this size regardless of quality, and I was kind of, happy to see that price point. Now, I don't want to say, oh, it's 10 bucks, so there's nothing to criticize. You can't be critical at all of a figure just because they give it to you at a good price point. I think that this is one of those figures that is great for kids to play with, maybe not so good for the adult collectors, although I think he'll look fine on a shelf, but this is definitely an action figure that is a little bit more for your kids to play with than maybe it is for adults to collect. Luckily, I have kids, and they'll enjoy playing with this immensely. The first thing I notice is this cape, and I'm not a big fan of this. It didn't have to be cloth. It's okay that it's not. I do kind of dig cloth capes sometimes, but I guess it kind of depends on the figure. This maybe makes this plastic maybe makes a little bit more sense for this Batman and for how his cape moves. I can kind of see that. The problem is, even just in the box, it's already gotten wrinkled and crinkled up here, and that is kind of unfortunate. That doesn't look to me to be a stylistic choice, like it was done that way on purpose, or that there are, particular folds in particular places. That all happened in the package, it looks like, or maybe even on the assembly line. So I'm not real in love with that. I'm looking at the detail on the back here because I hadn't seen this yet, and it's kind of neat, looking at the kind of spinal pattern here, and the detail work is decent again for this sort of figure. The other thing I noticed right away is you've got one hand that's open so that he can hold his Action Blaster. Yeah, the most generic name for an accessory ever. Action Blast. See, it's a blaster that you use for action sequences. And you might be saying to yourself, but Batman doesn't use guns. Batman hates guns. Why would he have an action blaster? Well, unless we discover that for whatever reason this is a Batman that in this universe is using guns, and I really doubt that that's the case. This is probably the blaster that shoots kryptonite, because there is a gun that looks kind of similar to this that's out right now that has kind of Nerf darts, these green Nerf darts that kids can get. That is, it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat looking, actually. That's Batman's kryptonite gun. So that's probably what this is supposed to be. Holds in his hand nicely, no problem there. But it's a little bit irritating that and this is what I was going to say that I noticed, that this other hand is closed up in a fist and completely filled in there. It might have been neat to have both of them. I guess you could argue, well, it's nice to have a punching hand, but of course we could have some articulation so that at least the fingers, even, connected together, opened up and closed back up so that you could still make a fist. But I guess that's, a small criticism, not really a big deal. Again, I can see it both ways. It certainly makes sense that, you got one open because that's, the hand he's going to use. I guess Batman is always right-handed. It'd be fun to see a left-handed Batman. I don't know if Batman's ever been left-handed, but, the only one that would be open would be that one. But again, since I think this is kind of, it's a less detailed figure than your DC Direct and stuff, it's a little bit, I think it's going to be more fun to play with than it is to display. It might have been neat to have both of those. At the same time, overly articulating a figure can sometimes make it difficult to play with, so I can kind of see it both ways. The articulation on this one is kind of standard, so we've got our joint here at the elbow. This one looks like it's supposed to move. I can't make it move. I'm not sure if it is or not. I'm looking at this. That looks like a joint to me. It's either really stiff. Wait. Oh, okay, got it. It is really stiff, that joint. So it might just take a little bit of physical labor there. He's gonna need some WD-40 to move that around, but clearly that is meant to be a joint and move. You'd hope so, because otherwise he's just always punching like this, and that's just goofy. Okay, so anyway, you've got those two joints there for articulation. His head moves. Does his head go all the way around? Yeah, his head goes all the way around. That's kind of normal. These knees both move just fine, no problem there. We're not all stiff there. And the waist? Nope, nothing in the waist. So that's it. This is not a fully posable figure, or even a mostly posable figure. This is a 90s action figure, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like if they had made a Batman vs. Superman figure in the 90s, this is about what you would have gotten, and I can't complain. This is somewhat, I don't know, nostalgic for me. It's neat to see figures like this again. I'm sure some folks won't love that about it, but the nice thing is that there are lots of alternatives. I've been really impressed so far with what I've seen from the Batman vs. Superman merchandising. We've got already a lot of the characters that you would want. I'm hoping to see, Lex Luthor down the line, and a Doomsday, although I'm not in love with that design yet, so I guess we'll see what that ends up looking like. But there's already, some $20 much more, detailed figures out, and this is kind of the, bottom of the totem pole Mattel, get for your kids to play with kind of figures. And like I said, for that, I'm kind of digging him. He's okay. His coloration is pretty much the same all the way through, not doing any detail work in shadowing or like battle damage or taking hits or scratch marks or anything like that. It's pretty much just the same gray all the way through with I guess a couple different shades now that I'm looking at it, under the shoulder and stuff. So that's nice, and nice bright, I almost said nice bright yellow, more of a chrome look there for the utility belt. The underneath the feet there, he's got the cleats. That's cool. Overall, I think I like him. Obviously not perfect, and you're gonna be able to find way more detailed and more intricately detailed figures. But again, for the price point, and especially if you just want to get these for your kids, I think this one at least is really solid and pretty quality, and kind of the standard that I would expect from Mattel. What do you think of this figure? Just taking a look at at them, or if you have bought these already, leave a comment and let me know. And next time, I'm going to take a look at that Superman figure, that armored one. What's he called? The Shield Clash Superman. And just here he is, and I'm not real impressed with what I've seen on him yet, but we'll see when I get him out of the box. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I'm Captain Logan, and this was an episode of Objectivity.